Okay, this is my all wood, well, mostly wood except for a golf ball up here and a couple of 3 screws, vacuum operated engine. I just kind of built this from my own sketches. I was looking at a steam engine and was admiring some of the mechanics and wondered if I could duplicate them, making a working model out of wood. So this is what I came up with. I guess starting from this end, this is the cylinder. Well, I think the definition of a cylinder is would have a round cross section, and this is square, so maybe it's the squillander. Inside this cylinder is one piston that travels back and forth. It has a total of a 4-inch stroke, about that big, and piston is connected to this rod right here, which through a linkage is connected to a crank on that flywheel. As I mentioned, it's powered by vacuum. I originally planned to power it with compressed air, but I didn't really have a source of compressed air, and I do have a source of vacuum in the form of my $5 investment shop vac that's hanging right there. So this fanciful mechanism here is the throttle valve. When the valve is in that position, the motor doesn't run, and why it doesn't run is basically you've got a big vacuum leak into each side of the cylinder, so no vacuum can build up, and the motor doesn't run. If we turn this, might be able to see the piston inside there. Yeah, you can just see it. Maybe you can, maybe you can't. Anyway, and then when that valve is in when the knob is in the forward position, those ports are closed off and vacuum will build up and move the piston. So there's the throttle valve. This is just the mount. The holes in that are strictly to make it look cool, no other reason. Most of this is made out of Baltic birch plywood, except for this piece, which is a 2x4 cut down to size, and there's a 2x4 there as well. But and then that's just regular plywood, and that's regular plywood. But most of this is Baltic birch. Some of these fittings, those fittings are oak, and there's some maple around here too. Parts of those rod ends there are maple. I'll just turn this around. You can look at the other side of it. So this is where we put the vacuum, and what this thing here is a valve which directs the vacuum to one side of the cylinder or the other side of the cylinder, and which side of the cylinder that vacuum goes to is controlled by that valve, which is moved by the flywheel, which is moved by the piston. So the whole thing is synchronized, and the motion of the valve is offset by 90 degrees from the motion of the piston. So that is how it's going to work. The whole thing can come apart. The valve is just screwed on to that side of the cylinder. Throttle valve is screwed on. This cylinder head will come off, and you could take the piston out. These joints will come apart. If we were to push that little pin out, then this pin would come out. Same with that one. Over here You can get these off. The cap comes off of this fitting here, so these ends come apart, and you could push that little pin out and get the flywheel off, and then of course that flywheel pedestal is just screwed down, so the whole thing would come apart if you wanted to do that. This is a little bit interesting here. This was the first version of the air valve. It works. This slider here directs the air from that inlet to one of those two ports on the bottom, and that will fit onto the cylinder. The problem with this this valve here is that it was much too small capacity. The passages inside the valve are just too small to pass enough air to run this run that engine. So this is just a larger version of the same valve. So if anybody needs a neat little valve, let me know. I've got one. Okay, so now, oh yeah, and here's a few spare parts. There's a part that I built wrong. That was supposed to be this part here. That would fit onto the valve there, but as you can see, I built it 90 degrees off. So that'll be kindling. And then these, those were my first attempt at that rod end, and after I had them built, I thought they were just too lightweight. There just didn't seem to be enough material to make this strong enough. So I cut them off and built these ones, which are quite a bit more stout. Okay, let me try to do this here. Trip over the beer case. Okay, there we go. We're hands-free. All right. The throttle in the closed position. The Doug Peters vacuum-powered wooden engine.